Cool. Speaking of sports,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of controversy in
Yeah,
sport,
trans.
especially with trans athletes. Former
Yeah.
trans competitor, well, current trans competitor.
How do you frame that, eh? You just got canceled.
Formerly current.
Read the article. Just read the headlines. I don't get
Sanity
canceled,
returns to transgender madness after Lia Thomas banned by FINA. They FINA banned her, and she got banned because she once was a man.
Yes, yes.
I don't give a
We
fuck.
covered.
I'll say it with my chest. Like you
can.
It's a fair advantage. It's not a fair advantage. It's not fair. You're like,
of course it's not fair. No, of course it's not fair. So the New York Post is reporting, and many others actually, as we reported here on Top Buds, Lia Thomas won the women's, what was it, 1,500? I can't remember what the distance was that she won for swimming. He, whatever you want to refer. It was a man transitioned into a woman, and then just whooped all the women's asses in swimming. Yeah, and then the same thing can be said about women's weightlifting. Men are taking over, or trans women are taking over there as well. But finally, sanity prevailed in the world of women's sports. Swimming's world governing body, FINA, announced a ban Sunday on biological men competing in women's events, unless they had transitioned before the age of 12.
huh?
This just in from my producer. The fuck?
The fuck? Before 12?
Yes, if you've transitioned, fuck.
Is that legal?
In some places, which is scary as hell. But let's go down a little bit. In other words, transgender athletes who have
12?
Who have experienced, thank you, the enduring competitive advantages of male puberty flooded with testosterone, such as greater muscle mass, lung capacity, and height, will no longer have an unfair advantage in women's competitions.
And a dick.
Yeah. Well, that's
So,
you can remove that.
Well, there once was a dick, which moves my point more further, which is testosterone, strength, all these things that I just think it's fucked. It's fucked. There's no, you know what we should do is, I guess women don't necessarily have a natural advantage on a lot of things, but I'm just saying, like, we should do something that women are only good at, right?
Women are incredible at a lot of things, and I'm
I
not going to be
know,
a
but
misogynistic
there's
asshole.
not things that
None of them involve the kitchen. They're really good at bearing children. Okay, they're really good at bearing children.
Well, I was being sarcastic. I'm saying
like there are things. Yeah, so it's like
yeah,
there's a reason we have women's sports and men's sports. It's because there are very clear differences between men and women that cannot be fixed through science. You know, you can't alter that. You can try to change it, but you still can't get away from the fact that there are still genetic differences between men and women that supersede sports, that supersede anything. And this is great. This is good. This is great to see that there's a governing body looking out for the interests of women, because it is a sad, sad state of affairs when men can go in and just demolish women. Like
Joanna Man.
I ask my wife all the time. I'm like, how does it feel to know that as a woman, a man can do it better? She hates that. She hates that, of course, and she should.
Yeah,
because it's not true. It's not true. And the thing is like what I'm in favor of is, like, if there's gonna be transgenders in sports, and there should be, like, I'm not saying they shouldn't compete. That's crazy
talk. There's Special Olympics, right?
Right, there should be their own level of sport. Trans sports, trans everything.
We just watched armless people kickboxing, my guy.
Bro,
so I think there's a place for everybody.
Sky is the limit. You are right.
Yeah,
you are right. So it's just I think sports.
Hold on, scroll the fuck down.
All drugs.
How big is that motherfucker? That's
whoa. That's a medal. They're on a podium. The first place is up higher.
Okay.
But she is way taller than all the other women.
And thicker, jawline, all that shit.
Yes, look at those legs.
This is like Michael Phelps said. You know what? I'm not doing so great over here right now. So here's what I'm gonna do.
Exactly the same thing, except it's not Michael Phelps. It's exactly
it was somebody who was like 4th tier, fucking not that great.
400. Oh, there it is. Went from 554th to 1st.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm not doing so good at YouTube. I'm thinking maybe,
Well, like, that's really what it is. It's like fucking yeah, we should just start doing makeup videos. I'm gonna fucking do Jeffree Star shit and fucking blow up and do you know what I'm saying? Like, what the
Let's do it.
fuck? What the
Let's do
fuck?
it. Yes, you can.
I don't
Yes, you
like
can.
it. Yeah, and what
Yes, you
happens
can.
when Leah goes and gets in a scrap, beats the dog shit out of some girls? How's that gonna be?
Bro, this is happening. Men are going into female combat sports and
Oh,
whooping the
Fallon
living
Fox.
yes,
Fallon Fox, dude,
whooping the shit out of them. Like it's
dominating.
like,
And the thing is, not that talented in
how is
terms
that
of
legal?
skill, bro.
No, of course not. This is a man whooping the shit out of a woman. You don't need skill. The
Yeah,
man is by science 1.25 times bigger,
it's
easily.
stronger and all of it.
And stronger, and like it's
Fuck.
just crazy to me. But it's like this is like I've always heard theories that they say that like the end of society is when societies or civilizations start
Meat,
violating the most
juice.
basic rules of life. You know, it's like they start violating the basic, and that's the fall of society. You know, brothers and sisters having children, and people having like this is actually a scientific claim that I can't back up right now because it takes a whole other
No, but
conversation.
I've heard some
But
shit similar.
as we start to deteriorate our civil values, that's what happens. The fall of civilization ends up following with that. I'm starting to see, like, if with FINA making a rule like this, I would argue that maybe it's coming around again, where it's like, wait a second, it was going a little off the rails there for a second, but maybe now, because I've got a controversial opinion, believe it or not. You know,
No,
it's
you
like
don't.
believe it or not, it's like in my opinion, the world started off. I don't want to describe it as like conservative, but started off old school. It was very there was slaves. We didn't treat women very well. You know, if you were a homosexual, you were considered diseased.
It's 100%
If you
conservative, like,
had
conservative in the
Down
lifestyle,
syndrome,
not political.
you were considered diseased. Like these are things.
That's
But
not
throughout time, we've started to understand the processes of men. We started to understand that wait a second, men and women are equal. Man is equal. Then you also started to think, well, wait a second, you know, it's like people with diseases, they're not sick, or not diseases, but like
a handicap of some
disabilities.
kind,
Yep,
yeah.
they're not sick. They're different, or you know, they're not sick. They're just different. You know, and it's like we started to evolve, and we started to think, okay, wait a second. Well, wait, we can start to treat people with fairness and kindness, and we started to open up a little bit. Well, then we start to go too far.
Extremism.
We started to let go of some of those things that, well, wait a second, that what we were doing it right. You know, men's sports, women's sports, men, women, they are clearly different. But then all of a sudden we start to blend these ideas a little bit. And it's just like we start to lose focus. And that's where it's like we need to pull back on these reins a little bit in terms of like we've been giving out too much, not freedom, but freedom. Like it's just too much. Like you can't go that far. You can't take
Bro,
things
this is
that far. There needs to be rules and boundaries and guidelines. I don't know. Maybe I'm just
I think
talking
a
too
lot
much.
of it is a lot of it's America's extremism in political side of things. Once we had Trump in office, everybody who was left went as far as they could. Not everybody, but a lot of people. Like shit where everyone's like, of course liberals would say that. It's like that's a liberal thing? Like having children have sex changes and shit. Like, whoa, that's fucking crazy. I gotta be careful what I represent or what
Well,
things I say. Like
that happens
and like
long
well,
before then.
conservatives, like they hate
That
weed,
happened.
they hate same-sex marriage, like all these things that are generalizations, but it's extremism. And for a while, we were getting these extreme things where, like, there's all these crazy bills coming into play, and it's like, "What?" And it's always from the left where it's like, "What the fuck is going on with this?" And then super, like, "Fuck rights and fuck freedom and fuck people" from the right, and it's like, "What?" Extreme, 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 always extreme, and it seems like more and more that shit now isn't working. People are like, "That's crazy." On either
It's
side, when things come up, they're like, "Well,
yeah, either
that's
side.
fucking crazy. Hang
It's
on."
going
Like,
so extreme, so extreme, so extreme, so extreme where it's like, whoa, 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 whoa,
people got
whoa.
to a point where like, "Hang
Put the
on. Whoa,
brakes
whoa,
on.
whoa,
Yeah.
whoa, whoa.
Whoa, whoa,
This
whoa.
is getting radical."
And this is why it's important to have both sides having a conversation. All
Yeah.
sides, sorry, not both, all sides having a conversation, because it's like, whoa, 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 whoa. Sure, okay, pigeons. We let you think like that for a little bit too long now. Now this we need to hone that in a
Getting
little
a little
bit.
radical.
Getting a
Getting a
little
little
radical. Getting a little
yeah.
radical. You know what I'm saying? Yes, yes.
I
And
feel
then
like
it's like
that's what we're
that's
getting in
when I need
society.
Rob to be like, whoa, 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 whoa. You know what I
The
mean?
yin
It's
and
like, okay,
yang.
okay, okay. I went a little far. I went a little far. And the same
Yeah.
thing. You're right. Rob's going a little far. It's like pigeons are like, come on, come on, come back. Come on. It's
Brought
like,
back.
wait, okay. We'll meet here. You know what I mean? Instead
That's
of
what society used to be, man. It used to be, you don't talk about your political preference. You don't talk about who you voted for. Your life at home and your sex life is private. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's where
well, there
things were.
was
And if that's
privacy. You're right.
conservative, then that's
You're right.
I guess I like that better.
Well,
But
I
at
like
the
well,
same
in a
time,
fairness, when politics first came around, when you had to vote, you had to go up on a stage in front of everybody, and you had to publicly say who you were voting for.
oof,
Like way back when Washington and yeah. Could you imagine? But anyways,
fuck
it,
that.
it wasn't like I don't believe it was similar with the divisiveness. Well, of course it was. Of course it was. You had people fighting
Yeah,
over
because you got
country.
people
It's
publicly putting
always been
themselves
divisive. It's
exactly.
always been
Now it's just
divisive.
emphasized with the
We're just
internet.
again, it's just it goes back to this idea that, as society we've been so free and so we've had such an ability to just think outside the box. You know what I mean? Where it's like, well, wait a second. Bring that you gotta hone that back in again, man. And it's like now our divisiveness isn't over life or death. It's over whether or not men can play in female sports.
Yeah.
It's just like, hmm, hmm, hmm. Maybe we should be focused on something a little more important. Maybe,
Yeah.
maybe,
Maybe. Like
instead of
mystery
this.
creatures?
Or have you heard about the mystery
You
creatures?
have not told me
Oh
anything about
my
mystery creatures.
God. I just read the
I leave
headlines.
news to you, bro.
Bro, this is a transition yeah, I think it is, to be honest with you. I
This
don't
is
know.
a
I found the
transition that
story.
everyone should get into.
Yeah, this is this is a transition we can all get behind. Okay, we're gonna go from men playing in female sports to 4 mysterious creatures caught on camera, and none of them are Lia Thompson. So, sorry, stop. Stop. Good to see you guys. Happy to Monday to everybody. We appreciate your faces, man. Yeah, let's just get. This is a 20-minute fucking video. This is not what I had in mind. They had this as an article, for the record. Whoever History Network is paying to get articles written about them, we need to do the same thing. Let me just throw an entire video at you. Okay, well, can you just get pictures? We don't need to know much about. Yeah, there we go.
Let me see what it is.
Oh my God, I don't want to see that at all. Oh,
Underwater creatures I don't like.
Oh my God. Oh my
I don't like
God.
that. I don't know what it is.
I
don't
changed
like
my mind. Let's go back to the other conversation.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
What the fuck is that?
No matter what the conversation is, guys, we always enjoy your input and your opinion about any of the topics. As long as we can keep it civil. Don't make fun of anyone.
No.
I would never, looking into the eyes of somebody who was transitioning, transgender, gay. I could care less. I don't care what you do in your free time.
I just
Please.
don't want you to beat somebody's daughter in a fucking race.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't want you to go and fight them in the octagon.
In the same way, I wouldn't be a gym teacher for children and wrestle with them.
What's the stats? Just random. What's the stats of females who've transitioned who've gone into men's sports?
Probably nothing.
Why do you hear nothing about that? Probably because they get fucking
probably
starched.
Isn't. They wouldn't stand a chance.
Ladies.
You
can't. I think you're amazing.
Well, you'd have to give them like bionic legs and stuff. There's just no other conversation. Yeah. But anyways, we were gonna look at. Oh, what is it?
Without restrictions. In the fucking Rio Olympics, because it's like, yeah, good luck, try it. It's not the opposite.
Unless it was like,
yeah, dude.
I was thinking like, what's the limbo? Oh. What's the one where you go like, how low can you go? I could picture a woman.
Although no one openly competed. 10 to watch.
But why would they? That's tough. You can't. It's really tough, And
I don't even know. Non-binary, what the fuck does that even mean? You don't know. Everybody identifies as something. It's like, wait, did you transition? Did you do that? And it's cool. Again, do your thing. But in sports, it just doesn't make sense. If you were wanting to do sports, stay on the other side, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I will. But of course, we pose a question to you guys. Always curious what you guys think. Give us just 5 of those still pictures, if you can find them still pictures of those creatures.
Yeah, I'd love to see the creatures in stills. I don't want to see them moving. I don't want to see them doing anything like that.
Yeah, I don't.
This is probably the worst fucking Dutch I've ever had in history.